Hello everybody, this is ZigZagZog coming to you from somewhere in this world. We're back to continue our playthrough of Empire Total War featuring Darthmod in the 40 unit save version. And right in front of us, that's what we have to open this episode. We had a little outside the walls battle a little while ago when this single unit tried to reinforce or make it into the capital. We said no, everybody's a little battle worn. They're much worse for the wear, I'm hoping. And we're about to assault the walls. They do actually show that this guy from the port will attempt to reinforce during the battle. They have 3 mortar units and we outnumber them not quite. Yeah, we outnumber them at least 2 to 1. So I like our chances. We got a couple cannon to go against their mortars. Let's see if they want to surrender, which I can't say is a guarantee anymore on this kind of a thing, but we're going to go ahead and attack. We'll see you on the other side down on the battlefield. Alright, so it looks like we got the walls right ahead of us here. Slightly foggy, but nothing too bad. So, seems like a tight deployment zone. I'm wondering if we're going to be in range no matter where we set up of those mortars. I guess we'll find out real quick. So I'll be right back once I place my artillery units and we get the final setup going. Alright, so due to the undulating hills, we have our artillery split up. I couldn't find a way to get it over on this side to have a reliable angle on the walls. So we're going to pound away on the front walls. That's where we're going to get our breach. Also over here on the hills, and that's where we're going to make the holes that we punch through. We got a large amount of forces in the rear here that will take advantage of those breaches, and we have cavalry off in the corner to charge in once we make those breaches. And in the meantime, before those holes are punched, we're going to start out by advancing these units on the back side to try and gain the walls either on this corner or on the back side to hopefully stretch their defenses and keep them from totally plugging up the breaches. So that is the way we're going to start. Let's get ready with our cannon. In fact, I think what we'll do, even though they're in 2 different spots, the cannon, we're going to punch them on the same target at a time just to get a quicker punch through the walls once we start. Outside, we have mortar garrison outside. Wow. So let's get our lines moving forward. In fact, we have a use for our cavalry early on, and that is to run for the mortars that they've set up outside. Even though we still have 2 inside to deal with, let's take care of 1 of the 3 as quickly as we can. Cavalry can't get here soon enough. They've got a long way to run before they get over there. And our guy is the diversion over here that's coming up against the back is going to be hammered pretty bad right now. Fortunately, with the hill, there's except for the mortars, but it'll protect them a little bit from the wall cannon. We're almost punched through in the front. As soon as we get our first breach, we're going to start bringing the other troops forward, trying to overwhelm their ability to shoot us all with the mortars. I have a feeling once our cavalry makes an appearance, we will start becoming a target for the wall cannon, but hopefully moving at a fast pace, we will be able to take minimal damage moving against these mortars. Heavy casualties already on this regiment here. Especially at such short range, I have a feeling their aim, pow, is much better. The Grenadiers getting hit hard. Cavalry's almost closed up. In their tired state, they get to run down the hill, downhill at least at the very end. And at least 1 mortar unit will be gone. outside of the line around this way. The rest will be moving forward to the wall on this side. We have broken through, so I think it's time to bring the rest of our forces forward. Try to just overwhelm them with our numbers so they can't shoot us all at once. We have some line infantry out front. Pretty amazing. We're going to bring our artillery to fire against another breach. To make another breach. Now we're getting hammered. Oh, that is our cavalry, which we are now going to retreat over the crest of the hill to try and keep them a little bit cohesive. Oh, they sent out their own regiment of horse. That's where I couldn't believe that the mortars were lasting so long. They brought out some of their own cavalry, that's why. Let's take this regiment and just see if we can't finish up close combat on their regiment of horse here. We've already fallen prey to them so far. We're going to try taking the walls if we can, even under fire, but that's a small depleted unit there. We are still able to take fire here, so let's get our cavalry over the crest maybe. And finally, their cavalry is finally almost saying they've had enough. We're going to run the rest of the way. And their cavalry is gone. We're going to try to take the walls on this side. We're going to bring this unit forward, try and contest them on the walls until we're able to climb the walls. Mortars are just pounding us. We're on the walls, but we're wavering. Bringing them in to the back of this line. Let's get the melee going on the walls. If these guys can get up the walls enough, of course, they're pretty depleted. And we'll be able to help with this melee fight on the walls. And if we can take the walls and have the high ground here soon enough, that'll be all the better for us. Okay, we're making it up on the walls here. We're going to also melee here to try and take over these walls. They're going to send somebody up the walls, but we will already be entrenched on the walls by the time they reach. No, they're coming out. Maybe? It says we've captured the building. Probably just the wall over here. Okay, we have these gates open. That's why they're lined up down here. We're going to send this regiment in if we can. Right, we're going to charge right in against the mortars if we're able to. Hanging tough against our units on the wall. They're showing signs of wavering at last. We're almost up here. In fact, our interior line has attacked their mortars, and among others, but we focused on the mortars first to try and eliminate some of that decimating power that they have. For whatever reason, we are not through this other wall zone. This regiment I knew probably would not hold up, and it did not because it's under fire every which way, but we did a number on their mortars. I'm already feeling the effects of that. I'm going to try keep pushing with those units that are intact on the walls against this unit of line foot. 5 guys left is all. They got to fold fast, my friends. Unit is retreating, but they did their job against the mortars. I see no mortars left standing, and we're able to shoot down at them from on high on the walls, which is good. And we've now taken down the resistance we were having on the walls. In fact, let's go over here with this unit over here. This unit will continue firing down on the walls, and then the remaining unit here is going to come down to ground level. We're almost in place to readying to start the breach. In fact, if we could take that gate, we're just going to bring this unit in. In fact, let's hold fire for the moment so we don't shoot our own guys. We'll get ourselves up to the gates, because if we are successful here, the gates will be opened. Let's run the last little bit so we can bring fire on these guys from below and above. And the mortar garrisons are outside the wall with nothing left to do, with nothing to fire and shoot. Do is we're going to now enclose and bring. This wall has fallen on this side, so now it is time for the big melee attack here in the center. We're going to bring this side in over here. We're going to bring this side in over here, holding back a few reserves to react. We haven't quite taken the gates. We're pretty close. We've got to be close. 5 guys left holding the gates. That's all between us and the gates. Okay, these guys are uncontested on the second breach. We're just going to form our line right here. We're going to run them in. And we now have this gate. We can also bring in some more fire on the rear over here. This regiment actually recovered. What do you know? Bring them back inside the gates to help out against this stubborn. Our units are all very stubborn, fighting it out until the last man. Have you noticed that one? In fact, we're going to bring these last reserve units in here now. We can run them up on the walls to reduce that fire into our backs. The enemy general has dropped. That's going to start causing them to waver, I would think. We'll advance here. We just wipe them out. We can bring these guys then down off the wall. Actually, we can bring these guys around the top of the wall. Take care of that other threat on the wall. And we can bring one of these units up to the wall on this side and kind of sandwich them in between. And this last regiment of support can come running right on in here. And we have this battle well underhand. We've had this battle well underhand for a while, but now we really, really do. bring this unit farther down so they can shoot down on these guys. And we've taken the city center, and it's just a matter of time now before they collapse. You see, we can bring fire from above on the wall here. Close these guys in for melee. Close these guys in from the other side on melee. Get them caught in the crossfire. This is one of those they're fighting to the last man kind of battles here. And the cavalry was active early, but no longer. We'll just bring them down into the center. Why not? And that looks like they finally reached that folding point. This battle should be over soon. There we go. Heroic victory for us. Great job, guys. All right, I don't know why it's heroic. We lost a lot of men, 1,118 versus their 1,836, but we took the city. We're going to do the repairs here. And that seems to be about the only repairs we have down here. So the country still exists. We got Genoa over here. They hold the island of Corsica. And as we know, they also hold Cuba. And so we'll see how quickly we're able to take those under control. Our income is at 31,000. That must mean either... yeah, our trade with Russia has come back. So I guess attacking Genoa has started to pay off. I'm pretty almost positive sure that Genoa was the one that had been blockading the Russians. So it's nice to get rid of them. That's why Russia is over here, because they went against Genoa's port. They got kicked out, and they've been sitting there ever since. We're going to go ahead and see, since we got tons of money. Money is not an issue. We're going to go ahead and replenish. And it still leaves us, in spite of the massive replenishment, it still leaves us with over 23,000, almost 24,000. We're going to go ahead and upgrade the commercial port. We're just going to, we're not under threat to lose this, so we're going to upgrade the buildings over here that need it as we get this territory under control, and we will tear down those walls. And before we move on, while I'm in the continent and thinking about it, our ministers, I think we're on a new turn where we need to replace a minister. We'll try the minister over India, and nothing. Let's see if he has any. No other special traits anywhere on the two remaining guys we're looking to upgrade. So we will revisit next turn. One thing I am going to spend the funds on while we're here, while I have them, is upgrade to the dry dock here so we can more rapidly build our second rates now. And we sent this navy up here. It's got our second rate, our first second rate ship of the line. Not sure where to send it. I guess initially it's got to go to our main army protecting the home port up here, and that's where we're going to put our first second rate ship of the line. And then we have this one unit that we sent up here, the galleon, but we did not repair it yet, so we're going to go ahead and repair that so we can send it back down to the trade nodes. Now, any weavers' cottages we have are due to be upgraded, and we're sitting at 13,000. I'm going to hold off in case I have armies that need to be repaired. We've upgraded a few select buildings. We're gonna upgrade those down the road after we make sure this turn we're done with all our military maneuvers. So let's head down and check out Americas, where the Cherokee are consolidating somewhat, but still not completely there. And they did not move against us over here. In fact, that they're kind of leaving the... Well, if we move against the Kentucky territory, they can reinforce easily. So that's why they're not worried about building up there. I'm wondering, do they have anybody? I don't think anybody is isolated enough. And then this force is the one that concerns me. He could be moving down. Like, now that I've cleared out New Orleans, he could actually be deciding to move against New Orleans. So maybe what we need to do, start pushing up where we can. In fact, I don't think we can even get over these particular mountains without coming through these passes here. So why don't we get our army moving down this way? So if we need to retaliate down here, we can. In the meantime, we're going to take over these iron workshops here. As our first statement, we're going to consolidate with these units from New Orleans. And we're going to see if these guys can quite reach. No, but they'll be able to reinforce if anybody moves against us. And public order is good there. And public order in Savannah, Georgia is good for the moment. And then we also should now have our army up north that's made it through the forest and should be a little quicker in moving down to help us out. We want to get them down this way, taking this road, so let's get them moving. And I wonder if there's anything we can do infrastructure-wise where we have funds. We can build a... Well, the road won't be done in time. But that's something we'll have to look at upgrading. That'll greatly increase our economy by getting the metalled roads built also. So that's it for the moment in the Americas. We've moved everything as far as we can, so time to head over to India. We've got a mighty battle here brewing. I'm not interested necessarily in moving against their walls. What I am interested in doing is moving my preacher, who's kind of my eyes, while I lack anything else here to help me out. So there's where their other army moves. So they're going to give us a battle over here in Nagpur, and when I move my army down there, we'll have a battle. It's close to a full stack army, and it should be everybody replenishing. Let's make sure. Yeah, there's nobody else to replenish, so we're almost back at full strength. Can we afford to move yet? And it looks, oh man, so close, so close, so close. Let's just move them out and see what that does. Okay, we can't start moving now. We barely have it to where there's no negative effects. We're going to move in their lands via the rice farms and start making our first move. Hopefully next time we'll be able to make it here if that's what we desire. In fact, why don't we just, there's no reason we have to sit there parked in the rice farms. There we go. Now I'm pretty sure we'll be able to make it there should we need to. We also might have the ability to support this army, which I am now going to get a little more aggressive with, knowing that this one's way over here. This could turn into something big and messy, but we're going to go up here to the farmlands here. Start making them feel our presence. And with our remaining funds, what we're going to do is we are going to continue recruitment down here. We're just going to go straight line infantry at the moment, just because I'm expecting casualties after we engage down here when that eventually happens. So having some replacements on the way, having a little pipeline going would not be a bad idea. I'm going to repair the mines. I'm going to build craft shop, and we won't do anything else at the moment as far as building too many, but most of those that I spent the money on are far enough south I'm hoping to not be immediate targets. Okay, we have some areas that are non-taxed right now. Let's go take a look at those in the Americas, see if we can start the taxing process and help our income, or if we need to wait. That would be here in the Iroquois territory. Looks like we cannot yet, because any taxes I increase will work against us. What I can do... Oh, we've already started the upgrading. I was going to see if we could upgrade, but that'll help our public order there. And then let's check down in Florida. I think things are probably under control enough here where we can start the taxation and income flowing easy, not a problem. Then we also have, I think, the same thing in Tunisia. Are we not taxing them yet? Let's find out. No, we are. We have them taxed. They're just, the public order isn't solid yet because of the religious unrest. So we're going to go up to the next level of state capital to try and give it a little boost to public order. repression, whatever you want to call it. And we're down to 5,608. We're going to go ahead and we are going to recruit another second-rate ship of the line. Excuse me, third rate. I thought we were up to seconds, but we're only up to third rates. Here I've been saying second all along. And there we go. I think that will take care of our spending for the turn. I'll do a quick check through my lists, make sure we're not missing anything obvious, and then we'll come back to move on to the next turn. Okay, one thing I found is our new missionary down here in Karnataka. Let's get him on the move. In fact, we'll take him up to enemy lands since we need to convert there anyway, and they can be extra eyes and ears as our troops are maneuvering up here. Yeah. Alright, I do believe that's it. Let's get moving on to our next turn. Alright, Cherokee did what I had a feeling they would do, but we got a force ready to move on down that way to take it back. They've made their move on New Orleans. There's no way we can hold it. We're just going to auto-resolve at this point. So the Cherokee have made themselves felt. Army destroyed. And we have an agent recruited, a Protestant missionary in Spain. In fact, we don't need, we got one here, we got one here, and we got one down in Tunisia. So let's get this missionary on the move to other regions where we might need them. We have a new rake in Lombardy. Yeah, now that the battle here is done, we have a new rake. What do you know? I don't really know on the continent where I would even begin to need him right now. I've got eyes on Great Britain. I don't know who the biggest threats. We got some eyes on Russia up there. Maybe some other eyes. Let's see, Hanover. Let's get some eyes over here against Austria just in case. So we have eyes kind of on all. Yeah, no threats there. And we've lost Lower Louisiana. We'll have to work to get that back. And our rakes are continuing with their successful missions. Recruitment report for down in India as backup. Construction report is meager. And our fleet has arrived after a long voyage. So this is what I'm calling our Mediterranean fleet, I believe.
Orders?
Yes, it is. And we do, it says here we might have a trade route. Yeah, the Mughals have some trade flowing through here, so we'll just come up here to work on this trade route. And we have some more history, the kinetic theory of gases. A bold new theory on the nature of gases has been hypothesized by the physicist and mathematician Daniel Bernoulli. In his work, Hydrodynamica, the Dutch-born academic outlines a kinetic theory of gases, overturning Sir Isaac Newton's theory that gas pressure is derived from static repulsion between its molecules, and suggesting instead that it is caused by the frequency of collisions of gas molecules, which are in fact moving in every conceivable direction. By extension, heat is derived from the kinetic energy of gas molecules stimulated into rapid motion by a release of energy into the system. This new understanding will doubtless aid the researches of other scientists, leading to many practical advances as yet unforeseen. So a big era of discovery going on as we play this game. All right, so let's take a look down here in the continent to start with. We're going to leave this army here to repair. We're going to get the new magistrate built and get that built up so we have the ability to move out whenever we need to. Not that there's anything urgent at the moment. We'll get our rake, I guess, kind of tucked away in Bavaria is where I'm thinking. I got vision down here of that. So as far as Austria is concerned, this is their most forward base. Oh, I'm kind of out of range here, but we're going to try infiltrating them next turn. And that's all we really got going on in the continent, except for upgrading of the Weaver's Cottages, which we'll come back to after action in the Americas, for starters. And we have armies down in this position. What we can easily do at this point, I'm thinking the Cherokee armies are rapidly consolidating. Let's get this army moving down in that direction. We might as well just group them up, make our army as formidable as possible. I don't know that it quite stacks up to these here. What I'm going to do is bring them down to threaten the attack here, hopefully holding them in place. What we're going to then do with the remaining armies over here is get them over to this road. They're going to feel real threatened right here. But hopefully they stay put, consolidate there to react against my threat. And the next turn, now that I've reached the roads, hopefully I can fight back now to retake New Orleans next turn. So that should have us covered in the Americas. Let's just take a look down on Cuba. And we should still be blockading at this point. Yeah, no issues there. Let's get back over to India, the hotbed that's brewing. Okay, our moving down of armies, so they got definitely outnumber us by far. So what I think we're going to do is move over here to address this army. Let's see if we have any intelligence. Fair amount. As we know, fair amount of melee. They do have 3 artillery pieces compared to our... Well, we also have 3. And we have cavalry, they have cavalry. I think we match up pretty well on this battle. So we may be looking at that. Let me just make sure. This army, I'm confident to just stay put at the moment. Even if all these armies team up on him, I can decide at that point if I want to retreat or battle. Alright, I think what we're going to do is we're going to end this episode with this battle here up in the, I guess, central India, you can say. For me, always dealing mostly down in the south so far. This feels like the north, but I guess it's more central India. We're going to take this force led by Dirk Verbeek and see if we're up to the challenge. Shows we have a slight favor in the power bar. Should be a challenging, tough one. We should outclass them. They outnumber us, though, with their units. Let's see. No, we're not going to retreat. We're going to go down here and take on this battle. We'll see you down on the battlefield. All right, seems like some gently rolling hills on this particular battle. We have a pretty extended, long deployment zone here. And they are gaining the benefit. They have the main hilltop if that's where it is they decide to stay put and conduct the battle. I think what we'll do is we'll set up. I think what we're going to do is pretty much set up near the top here. Hopefully gives our artillery good range of fire. And we'll come back when we're all done with that setup. Alright, here is the setup. We put all the artillery in one basket here. I guess I could have put some more down here to cover this part of the battlefield, but I'm more concerned about being able to move and control the hilltop, and that is where we can use the artillery to help us in that respect. We will fan out on this side with these 2 units. This one will also take a square formation for the flank. All our cavalry's over here to try and help us maneuver on the hillside. If they are aggressive with us, we have line 2 deep in depth. The second line is set for no fire at will and melee because they have a primarily melee heavy army, except for the cavalry that may try to flank on this end, and we'll set up 1 square on the other end once we fan out. And that's the way we're doing it. General's in the middle. So I think we have plenty of troops in reserve to be able to react depending on how they maneuver. At least that's what I'm hoping. I'm counting on our line fire by rank to be extremely effective against their melee attack. So let's find out. Pikemen are the ones guarding the artillery. That's why I kept them all together. And let's get this thing started. And they do take the hillside. Let's get ourselves fanned out over here for defense. And we'll get this unit over on the end also in square formation once it gets there. And guess what? We never, as a mistake, Mr. General, you're supposed to have your guns unlimbered and ready to fire before you press the start button on the battle. Let's go, before I move my cavalry, let's go find out where their artillery is set up. I'm not hearing a lot of booms. They've got some wall positions there. I'm not seeing artillery. Just trying to do a slow scan. I'm looking for their artillery pieces. I know they exist. Here we go. Is this cavalry? Not seeing where artillery on their part is set up. Just not seeing it. I'm pretty sure, am I mistaken? Was that a different army I clicked on? But I could have sworn this was the one that had some artillery. There's their general's bodyguard with the elephants. Here we go. There they are, front and center. Ours are in probably not the greatest position to be able to take them out over here. Yeah, they're over the rise in the hill. But we're going to give it a shot shooting up there. In fact, I see some blinking, so at least we're able to just get our shots up there. And they aren't set either. That's to our benefit. So we're going to hold off, let them get set up a little bit. Why not? However, I'm going to bring my cavalry over on this. Nah. We only have one unit of the horsemen down here. With our artillery not set, there's no reason to bring out the cavalry just yet. Plan was to get him in square formation. We'll do that. So both flanks have some square formation protection. One unit of artillery is already taken care of. We're not seeing any movements by the cavalry yet. Seems our setup has them in disarray. They just decided to change their own setup. And they are now firing artillery. We've taken some damage of our own, I can see here. It's more like the trailers to move the pieces. Ooh. They apparently have that superior setup for their artillery. They're scoring some direct hits. Let's follow these cannonball out. And they're falling back here. So we seem to be going against the general's bodyguard. We do not like those choices anymore. We're going to focus on their own artillery. That's much better. Got that one down to 3 guns, that one down to 3 guns. We got cavalry charging straight up in the center. And they do have arrows to work on us. Let's hope the fire by rank, which does not seem to be working at the moment. did repulse them anyway. I'm not seeing any cavalry on the wings, so what we're going to do at this time, take ourselves out of square formation. We have some extreme forces on the wings that may start attempting to flank us, we shall see. Looks like we got our first wave of melee hitting the line. Our reserves for our reinforcements there. Another cavalry charge repulsed. And the camel gunners are active in our center. We have pikemen. We can get some canister fire going. I don't really want to bring the cavalry against pikemen, but that's a strength of theirs I have not noticed that they had pikemen. Time to revert to canister fire. We may have to bring our own pikemen forward, but I'd hate to run them in front of the canister fire. They're wavering. They're not bringing their cavalry, so we'll get out of square formation. They have not been bringing their cavalry around the wings. We're going to come in with our own support. Melee. We're going to start coming in on these dervishes. They're getting too close to the artillery right now. We have one unit of. It's time to bring forward our pikemen. They're decimating our artillery. Trying to count too much on canister fire that was not firing. Camel nomads. Time to get them countered with our own cavalry charging out. Time to get our rear lines moving up, or our front main line has been cracking because we've been focused in too far forward. So the melee has been much more effective, and I have a feeling over on the flank where they were sending a lot around, we're going to need some help. Yeah, that's everybody on the flank has now hit the flank, and we did not have enough units over there to counteract them. Melee forces are starting to fold once we get the second backup line in there. Let's bring our pikemen down this way. Do we have any artillery units left? We're going to put them on long fire and focus on the general's bodyguard over here. We have one unit of artillery left. We need some extra help over here. And so far I'm amazed that our line over here has been holding. Guys are fighting tough against the melee units. Gotta find out where our general is in here helping with the melee. Hopefully he does not go down. All along the line. Get our cavalry running them down. And their general's unit is out there. Let's see, do we have anyone left to bring fire on him? We're all locked in melee. Slowly faltering on the wings. Okay, General's bodyguard, I would like to get you back in the fray. Helping on the flank. I think we're under control with heavy losses, but we're repulsing them. I'm going to bring our forces this side down over here to reform and start marching up. This is our artillery unit. I don't know if they have any cannon they can come back to. Apparently not. And the last melee unit has broken down here. So we're going to reform a semblance of a line. So we can start bringing fire against their general. Through death, looks like we may have lost our own general by bringing him into the line down on the flank. We're going to go into melee here. This flank became overwhelmed. There's been a mass and a mob for us. They're showing signs of starting to fold. See if we can bring the general's bodyguard over. In fact, we need support to knock out the last resistance over here. Since we're solid everywhere else. Enemy general has been killed, I'm assuming by our artillery, wherever they are. Well, it's not there. We have some unused cavalry units that we've lost track of. Time to run down units because this is a battle in which they can escape from. And really, to be able to end this battle, there's this last main unit over here. Finally, on the flank, they have broken. We're going to see one of our cavalry units to be able to bring it up. They're going to move back against the line. That'll break them. And that should be it. Alright, the battle's over. What we're going to just do is run down any units that we can so we don't have to face them again. And I'll join you back up once that's done. Alright, what we ended up with is a close victory, which does not surprise me with that amount of melee assaults that we had to deal with. Well, at least we inflicted far more casualties than us, but still, that's a big chunk of our army that we lost. 3,732 men. We still outnumber them 2-1 down here, but we cannot take on some of those other full stacks at the moment. So thank goodness we do have some soldiers that are being recruited down in our island stronghold to replenish us. But we've done a number on their troops. 7,201 casualties on their part. Let's see what it costs to work on replenishing these units. 13,476, but guess what? We can afford it. And we lost our general over here, so we need a new one. Just where you want to go as a general, doing a high percentage of melee and a lot of activity on the general. Well, we're going to get a new one in here now. He's green behind the ears, but he will soon change. I think what we're going to do is advance with the last remaining movement that we have and look at what still awaits us, a huge army. So we'll wait on the outskirts. We will not try closing in. We may be in for a big surprise if they decide to come out against us. We shall see. And we'll hold tight right there. So that we're going to end it at this point, this battle. We got a lot of potentials going on here in India right now. I'll tell you, we got a lot going on down in Cherokee territory. Another hotbed of activity. The continent has finally quieted down, although we still have Genoa to deal with. So Hope you enjoyed the episode. A lot going on. Hit me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. I'd love to hear from you guys. You Total War Empire people have been a little quiet. Let me hear something from you. Let me know what you're thinking. And I hope to see you next time for sure. Thanks so much for watching. This is ZigZagZog signing off from somewhere in this world.